Well, it's 8 years on since the original series, and it's become, in its own way, quite a cult series. A lot of people have keep watching it, keep buying the DVD, which we made back then. But originally it was made as half-hour episodes, and that was because that's what the broadcaster wanted, ITV. I always felt there's more to be told. I had a lot more footage, and I thought they would work perfectly as hour-long programmes. So I was delighted when they came back to me and said, look, the DVD has been really successful, but we're going to re-release it. Partly this is to coincide with the 350th anniversary of the Royal Marines. But we're going to re-release it as 1 hour episodes, so you can recut all the films as a 1 hour. So it is director's cut. I can now make the films as I originally wanted to make them.
That's got to be pretty good news for you, hasn't it?
Well, it's fantastic. It's not only good news for me, but it's good news for the lads as well, because they let me into their very special world as a civvy, as an outsider. But we became great mates, all of us, and so there was a very important relationship of trust, mutual trust. So this is partly me giving back to the Royal Marines, particularly the lads that I filmed with, both in training and out in the front line. So this is to emphasise my respect for them, and the sort of respect I think that the general public should have for them and all our soldiers that served out there.
And the DVD does refresh the story, if you like, by bringing it up to date. Tell me about that.
Well, I went out just a few months ago. I went back to Afghanistan with Bertie Carr, who was a young officer I also followed through training. He was 23 at the time, and 3 weeks to the day after he had passed out at Lympstone, he was on the front line in Afghanistan at a place called Kajaki, leading his troop against a Taliban stronghold, and I was with him. We were point troop, in other words, going in first before anybody else, so we knew it was going to be fairly challenging, and yeah, all hell let loose, and we came under heavy fire, and my job was to film, so I just cracked on with that as best I could, but his job was much more immense, and that was to win the day, to save our lives. Not just me, but the patrol, these men. He had to make those decisions, and 3 weeks after training, and it was amazing to see his training kicking in, and he took control, and he did win the day. So that was astonishing and remarkable, and again, wonderful for me that I could have captured it on film. Now, Bertie and I went back to Afghanistan to visit those old battlefields and to assess, if you like, the British military legacy 8 years on. The critical question, 453 British lives, was it worth it? A lot of people will say no, we shouldn't have been there, and we shouldn't have spilt British blood. But we went out to make our own assessment, and actually, you know, we thought we'd come back depressed with very negative feelings, but far from it, we didn't. We saw a side of Afghanistan which I didn't expect to see, but it's a very positive sign. And so I come back much more optimistic than I thought I'd be.